Hey guys, oh wait, just another minute here. I'm just about to log in to this Periscope and it pops up, Lucky Little Learners is on. I'm like, great. Lucky Little Learners, I'm not gonna get anyone watching this. Even I'm tempted to go watch Lucky Little Learners. Oh, thanks, Pink and Paisley. Yeah, invite people with the little Perry guy down at the bottom because this is absolutely my #1 blog post on my blog on how to make do-it-yourself whiteboard tables. If you do it right, you can do it for less than $8 a table. So it's an awesome addition to your classroom. My kids love them and they're really handy all the time. Oh, good. Awesome. Well, this is part 1, so I'm going to show you how to get your tables ready. Okay, there I am. Today was that day where you fall asleep when your 3-year-old is napping and you really weren't that tired to begin with, and then you wake up and you're so groggy in the head, you go to the paint store to get the primer and forget both the stir stick and the paint key. So I'm going to have to come back and actually prime the tables a little bit later, but I'll show you how to do it right now. So we'll back around here. Okay, so these are the tables that I have in my classroom, and I had desks for my first year in this classroom. Hey, and I went to tables because I could not stand the junk that was being kept in the desks. It was just this place for toys and clutter. I had one student who had 28, we counted them, 28 books stacked on top and inside of her desk. So we got rid of all the desks. I went through all the storage units and scrounged up as many tables as I could find. And these were not great looking tables when I got them. They were just brown laminate tables that were kind of scratched and dinged up. So the first step when you make a table, a whiteboard table, good, excellent, well now you can, is to grab some primer. And you'll see I have 2 different kinds of primer here because I'm using up leftover primer. I don't think that the primer matters as long as it's just white primer. I had whiteboard tables for the last year. I'm redoing them this summer. I'm guessing I'm going to have to redo them every summer. So as long as it's a white primer, you should be fine. And then just know it'll last about a year and then you'll redo it. So for the primer paint, you just need a paint tray and then you need a foam roller, not a fuzzy roller. A foam roller is what's going to get you your smooth look on the tables because you don't want any sort of texture for the whiteboard markers. And then you're just going to pour your primer in your tray because you will have a paint key like I do not. And then you just take your roller, and the tables are awesome because it is so easy to roll your paint on the tables. And because you have the foam roller, there shouldn't be any texture. There might be some little bumps at first, but they're going to smooth out as the primer dries. And I do 3 to 4 coats of primer on a table. You want it really white because the whiteboard paint is not very white. It's mostly clear. So whatever color your tables are with your primer, that's pretty much going to be the color of your table once the whiteboard paint is on. So you want it as bright white and thick as possible. Now, over here, I had a volunteer group come in and do the first coat of primer over my whiteboard table. You can see my whiteboard table here, and I guess they got an air pocket or something, but the primer started to chip off. So when you're doing your second layer, or if you redo these next summer, you're going to want to be careful not to get air pockets. I noticed on one table they left a piece of Scotch tape on there before they primed. Don't do that. I really wish that they had taken that tape off. So make sure your tables are clean, there's nothing on them, and that when you roll the paint on, you don't have any big air pockets that might chip off later. I'm just going to reprime several layers on this table, and I'm sure that will be fine. So that is your first step to whiteboard tables. I'm going to go get a paint key and come back a little bit later this evening, and I'll post on Instagram my tables after they've been primed. I'm probably going to do 3 coats if I can get 3 coats for these tables out of these 2 cans. And then tomorrow, the tables will be dry enough that I can then put the whiteboard paint on. So I'll show you the can of whiteboard paint over here. This is what the whiteboard paint looks like. I get it from Home Depot. You can also get it on Amazon. If you have Prime, it would probably be here by Tuesday. The dry erase paint, I'll do another Periscope tomorrow when I'm doing this because it's a little bit more complicated, but really not much. it is 2 cans of paint. So you have part A and part B. And so you simply pour part A into part B, mix it up, and then you roll that on to the tables. So that's real easy, but you have to use this within an hour, and then it has to cure for a week. So we start school on August 5th. So we have a week and a half until school starts, and we can't get into our classrooms on Tuesday and Wednesday for waxing the floor. So I have to get this done tomorrow in order for it to be cured by the first day of school. So you just want your timing to be right on these. When I first did these tables, it was at the end of my first year, and so I painted them, and then the kids had to wait a week to write on them while we were in the classroom, and it was torture, and I was so worried one of them was going to write on it. I think this says let it cure for 3 days or something, but I think, yeah, let it cure for 3 days. But I think a week is probably good, especially with kids, because they just, it's like they have the touch that ruins everything. So give it a week to cure, and then it'll be really good. So anyways, that is how you are going to start your whiteboard tables. So prime them first, let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow I will show you how to put the whiteboard paint on, and then you will have whiteboard tables for the first day of school, and they are awesome. The kids use them for everything from math to brainstorming activities. It's kind of like my own design thinking studio in the classroom. So, okay. Does anybody have any questions about priming the tables? The primer does stick to laminate. You don't need to sand down the laminate. I didn't do anything except wipe it down. So if you get a good quality primer, you can just roll it right on top of the laminate and it will stick really well. Okay, good luck. If you guys do this, send me pictures at katie@sproutclassrooms.com, and I'll stick you up on the blog because everybody wants to see pictures of classrooms that use whiteboard tables. So, okay. Be watching tomorrow, and I will show you how to do the whiteboard probably tomorrow morning Pacific time.